It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Tarek Shayya, the founder and managing director of Gratiya Advisory, to join us now. Dr. Tarek, thank you so much for your time.
A pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Perhaps if you might, you could start by telling us a little bit about Gratiya and the work that you do, and then explain what the value is to you and the team of supporting APCS in Dubai.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you everyone for this opportunity. Gratiya Advisory is from the South to serve the South. Gratiya Advisory was actually born out of the Expo 2020 event, where we had the gathering of 193 countries. From that platform, we learned a lot about how South-to-South knowledge transfer is becoming ever more important, whether it's a government, whether it's a city, whether it's an institution or a corporate in the South. They are viewing a lot of the models that have emerged out of the South as good examples to learn from, so that exchange. So our fundamental interest at Gratiya Advisory, myself and my partners and our entire team, we call ourselves advisors because also most of us came from, we were practitioners and also trying to bring what we've learned in the South to others. Fundamentally, we look at three important areas of service to the South, regardless of the institution. First, it's about transformation. And transformation can have many aspects of it, whether it's economic transformation, lead sector transformation, FDI transformation to become more able to receive and compete for foreign direct investments. Then you have the technology transformation that we know that the Global South has a unique opportunity today to leapfrog forward using a lot of the technology that's available. It's about governance. How do we become even stronger in our governance, again, to de-risk and to invite others to open our economies. Then you have the positioning. The South no longer wants others to speak on its behalf. The South today wants to tell its own story, its own narrative. So we work with institutions in the South and governments, cities, regions about how do we change the narrative about it, whether it's territorial rebranding. Why do we host major events? Major events are a positioning exercise. How do we benefit from major events, whether it's a World Cup in Morocco or an Expo in Saudi Arabia or other events that are taking place? It's about strategic communication, etc., etc. The third aspect that we try to work as well with the Global South and serve the Global South, it is all about growth. The challenges that your conference will address, a lot of it has to do with urbanization, growing population, but then how do we grow economies to accommodate this transformation? We can talk more about that later. So in a nutshell, we're extremely excited because also APCS represents a lot of the Global South, Asia Pacific, but now because it is in Dubai, you're inviting Africa, you're inviting the Middle East, etc., and we're very excited about that.
Thank you, Dr. Tarek. I just wanted to ask as well, you work across both public and the private sectors. So how important is it for advisory firms such as Gratiya to bridge those sectors at events such as APCS?
Well, we're very proud to be partners for APCS. And the reason is because we also absolutely, when we look at the Global South, indeed, you just put the data up there, Andrew, 70% of the world will be living in urban cities. But let me add, 90% of that growth is going to be all in the Global South. 60% of that 90% is going to be in Asia alone. Now, when we look at the challenge that will come, it's really a duality. On the one hand, there is the inherent potential of this transformative change, and there are the persistent structural challenges that a lot of the cities and in the South will be facing. So when we look now at solutions, the traditional solutions that have been used before, it's pretty much when it comes, for example, to infrastructure, it is the responsibility of governments. And governments, some of them have done well, but a lot of them have not done well in terms of really bringing the infrastructure where it needs to be to become an economic dynamic, power, as well as to address all the social issues out there. So we strongly believe that the only way forward is, in fact, the private public partnership. And we are seeing more and more a trend moving that direction, but the challenges are still there. For example, when we talk about the private, are we talking about international private sector coming to the global south? And here we face the issue of, well, how can you help me de-risk those challenges, especially when it comes to infrastructure and social capital? If you're talking about the local private sector, they have their own unique challenges as well. So how can we look at any particular problem, any particular city, and we can work together, bringing best practices, bringing the best expertise to really address this issue? I'll give you one more example. I'm sorry, but out of the top 500 cities in the global south, less than 20 are actually credit worthy, right? So how can we help mayors address that issue, especially noting that we are fascinated in our work by working with mayors for a very simple reason. I remember the late Professor Ben Barber, why mayors should rule the world is because they're pragmatic and practical, and they have to deliver something very, very tangible. Well, that's exactly how Gratiya approaches problem. How can we work on a problem but deliver actual tangible results? Whatever that is, each city is going to have its own challenges, and we're very open to think together with our clients, find solutions together, stay all the way until the action is actually ongoing, and hopefully results are visible for the mayor. So hopefully this explains how we approach the PPP dimension.
It does, thank you. And you've spoken eloquently, obviously, to some of the most pressing challenges that are facing cities today. But could you speak to a couple of the sort of the great opportunities that face cities, and how the role that you see Gratiya playing in shaping their futures?
Well, absolutely. I think, one of the biggest economic potential in majority of cities, whether Asia Pacific or in Africa, it's the youth bulge. It's this incredible economic opportunity that comes from a young population that is ready to go into the workforce and ready to deliver developmental outcomes. However, the challenges is whether it is about skilling, whether it's about the education system. And there are a lot of new tools that require the private sector's engagement in them. Whether we're talking about, how do we address, green bonds? How can we make them, viable enough for people to invest with them? It's about impact investing. We're tired of seeing so much spending going into education systems that is not really producing the kind of a modern education that requires, whether in African cities or Asian cities or in the Middle East here, to deliver a labor that is ready to enter 21st century markets, not that. So I think the opportunities, there are very few among even your audience that can question about the absolute potential opportunities to move away from the extractionist economies to more high value industries, to move, a lot of them are moving into the service industry. How can we take the service industry to the next level? So I think the opportunities are immense. We just need to think together, and APCS is an incredible platform to do just that. Let's exchange knowledge, let's exchange experiences, and let's move forward.
Dr. Tarek, thank you so much. I'd love to continue, but I'm afraid we'll have to wrap up there. We're so looking forward to working with you and the team at Gratiya as we build and create together towards APCS. So again, thank you very much for your time. As you've seen today, APCS in Dubai is more than a summit. It's a springboard for innovation, investment, and for real outcomes. Whether you're shaping city strategy, seeking to expand across regions, or offering transformative urban solutions, this is the forum where future-focused partnerships begin. Thank you to all of our guests for your valuable insights. Thank you to all of our audience for your valuable time. And we'll see you all for our next session on the 25th of June. Goodbye. Thank you.
ambition, purpose, partnership, and action. Words that have always defined our nation. Driven by a clear vision, we have seen our economy flourish. Dubai has become a beacon for business and events, a place that prioritizes people and connections, and a home for talent and innovation. Today, as our nation continues to thrive and people and businesses steadily move south, we are already here to welcome them at the new center of Dubai's future, next to what will be the world's largest airport, a global shipping gateway, a state-of-the-art exhibition center, and Expo City Dubai, home of Expo 2020 and COP28. Guided by the Dubai Economic Agenda, this new center of Dubai will be the catalyst for accelerated innovation, meaningful collaboration, and a more sustainable way of living. Our story so far is remarkable, but as we prepare for the next exciting chapter, we know that our future will be even brighter.